Okay, guys, so this session, what we're going to do is I'm going to run through how to create the movement and handling policy with all of the paperwork so we know what paperwork we're using, when and why, and then we'll stop the recording and then we'll look at your paperwork. But what I want to show you is how I do it, because I don't think you've seen me work, so you don't know how I do things. Now, obviously, I'm going to have my friend ChatGPT open because why would I not? And on my screen, I very much have a split screen. So I like things in two halves. It just works much better for me. So I've got my moving and handling files on one side. So these are the files here that I showed you last week, the health and safety risk assessment. Can you see these files?
Yes.
Yeah, lovely. And then what I've got is I've got Shaq's policy, which is the moving and handling policy. And the first thing I've done is I've just gone through that policy and I've cut and pasted it into a Word document. Okay, so that's all I've done so far. So here's the bit. We're going to then go up here, editor. No, I have to do it like this. Select all, cut, get rid of that, go in here, and just pretty much, rather than me sit there tidying that up, it will tidy that up for me. Okay, so the first thing I've done is I've just re-tidied up what we'd already had. So I'm going to go to then my policy, my moving and handling template policy, or my policy template. So here is the policy template that I showed you last time. So now what we're doing is we're doing the moving and handling residence policy. I'm going to pop that up there. I do that. I'm then going to highlight. I'm going to get the paintbrush and I'm just going to do that. So that's now that. Good. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to copy that and put please rewrite for moving and handling. Copy that in.
He's making.
So that can now go in there. Then I'm going to have my policy statement. So here, I'm going to copy that. Please, or rewrite for moving. See a resident actually. Let's keep that consistent. Okay, and I need to add in, please. There you go, that's better. So again, I'm not working hard, am I? I'm just asking WhatsApp. I'm asking AI to do it. So then we've got the single inspection framework. So safe, effective, and well led. So here we've got, please write about it. Single inspection links to the we'll see what that comes up with. Okay, so that's doing that quite nicely. I'm going to change that. Whilst that's doing that, I'm just doing that. Right, so there you go. Single switch. And again, I'm just copying and chopping it all in at the moment, but I will then go through it and screen it and read it. So that's that. That's the conclusion part there. So cut that, drop that in there. Legislations link into policies and procedures. So here, I'm going to pop that in there. Now, please add all the or maybe I have a service user. Oh, it's thinking about it. There we go. Slowing down a bit. It's slowing probably because of my bandwidth. Okay, so then they're the policies and the legislations. And then you've got your conclusion part. And that's that. So you can see, what's that taken me? Few minutes? Yeah, a few minutes. Good. So ultimately, ultimately we've got the first bulk done. Now I'm not going to worry about formatting just yet. I just want to get the text in because ultimately, don't forget, it's going to go through a couple of amendments anyway. So there's no point tidying it up until the last stage because you're just going to be wasting time. Yeah. So it can look a bit ugly in the first, because this is only version 1 of 1, it's all version 2 really. So we'll have to add that in there. So that's, we're calling this now, what are we calling this? MHS. So MHS, and technically it's version 2 because version 1's already there. Right, so the procedure then is all of what this was. So I'm now going to pop that over there. And I'm going to ask it from the text that I took from the original policy to create the procedure, okay? Please write a new set of procedures using this information. Right, so that's now going to produce my new set. And hopefully what you're going to see now, this is going to align a bit more to what you're doing. You do the pre-admissions, you're going to do a review, you're going to write the care plan, you're going to look at the equipment, you are going to communicate it, and staff have to be trained, which is all of that paperwork I showed you last week. Agree? Yeah, good. So that's now our procedure. Copy, let's pop that there. And when you look at the previous procedure, it doesn't really kind of give you the processes too terribly well. So what we're now going to do from the procedure, we now need to link this up to the paperwork. Okay, because here what we're saying is we need to do an initial assessment upon admissions. So this is going to be form 1, which is either going to be the admissions paperwork or whatever it is. So that checklist sheet is what it is. So do you remember in the initial paper, you've kind of got like that tick sheet, haven't you? Just nod. Yeah, it's like it in your pre-admission.
The initial assessment, the pre-assessment stage you're talking about.
So you call it the pre-assessment. Good. Okay, so that's the first form. So we're going to now call that form 1. Then we're going to develop and review the care plans. So when we look then at some of this, we need to look at what it is the local authorities is asking us to do. So they're asking us to do the risk assessments. So in here, we need risk assessments added. So here, let's have a look. We're going to fill in, once we've done the pre-assessments, is it this one? It's then
Yeah, that one. Yeah, SCG manual. That one.
Yeah. So then this one, so develop, review care plans and risk assessment. Because when somebody reads this, they need to be able to follow the job that you're asking them to do. So that's now going to be, and again, we can call that form 2 and, well, what we'll do, we'll call the care plan form 2 and we'll call the risk assessment form 3. No, that's form 2, form 3. So this now becomes form 3. Yeah, so we give them the names. So when we're saying to somebody who's new to our business, look, I want you to do the moving and handling assessment, they can pick this procedure up and it's step by step. Use this first form. Once that form's filled in, now go to this form. Fill that form in. Now that's done, now fill this form in. So then we've got the implementation of the care plan. So the care plan is then our online live apps and care notes. So here, so it's care plan and is it Careline Live?
Yeah,
Kela.
all together.
So in here, we just need to add a bit about how you do that. Okay. Then when we look at the manual assistance and use of aids, here it's going to be what's prescribed for them. But what documents tells you how to use them? What documents did I show you?
We need the manual handling assessment form before using the aids.
Yeah, so the manual handling assessment form is up here. You'd have done your risk assessments and stuff.
The thing is, like our manual handling assessment form is attached with the pre-assessment. We do all this together.
Okay. So you can add that in because I'm only doing this as an example. You can add that in where it fits in. Okay. But when we talk about the use of aids, what on my screen here from last week, what should we be linking this to? We're telling them to use an item.
SOP.
The SOP, the standard operating procedure. So we need to link that to SOP. Because if we haven't told them it's the SOP, how are they ever going to know use the SOP? Because you didn't know about the SOPs, did you, till last week?
No, we did
No,
not.
exactly. So we need to add that in. So then communication reassurance then is how we're going to tell the service users and the family members. So where on the screen, if we look at Sutton's paperwork, what are we going to be communicating to them?
Sorry, say again.
So here it now says step 5, communication and reassurance.
Hmm.
So what are we communicating? What are we reassuring? What did I show
About
you last week?
as it's moving and handling assessment policy, then we're
So
gonna
you've
talk
got your
about how
carers
we're gonna.
checklist and your slings checklist, wasn't it? So under service users information, they need this one. So we need to make sure maintaining the carers checklist needs to be given. So again, because that's part of our procedure. Give a copy of that.
Oh, right, this document we need. Monitoring safety. It's in service user info folders. Yeah.
Well, that does look a bit ugly, but anyway, we can go in there. And then we've also said they need to do the slings checks as well, didn't we?
Yep.
There. And again, we can go in, we can do all the formatting and all the tidying up in a minute. So we'll just do that and that. Oh. And again, give it a form number. Because what you'll find is if you then keep your forms in a numerical order, it makes sense. Because this should just flow numerically, right? So here, that's going to be like forms from I think it's like whatever the number is to whatever from that's 3, that's going to be form 4. So your care plan is your yellow document care plan. Your SOPs, if we look at the SOPs numbers, we've got quite a few in there, haven't we? 1 down to 26. So you could renumber those. Yeah. So you would carry on in that numerical order because you just want them all in one order. So I'm only going to do this as an example from, I don't know, so it's 5 because the care plan's form 5. So it's 5 up until something like 30 or whatever to 30. Then here, that potentially could be 31. Oh. 31, and that is then going to be form 32. Good. Right, staff training then. So it then goes into staff training competencies, and here we've got all of those. So now we need to make sure that this paperwork reflects what we've got here. So it says Sunlight provides managed training for in-house training moving assistance. Okay, that's fine. So here we can then add in for each area of the business, area of the service, we will appoint at least 2 moving and handling champions. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so that's that one.
So what does this champion mean?
So the champion is what Wagner's arranging. It's 2 members of staff that are going to be trained up in each borough that will be the expert in moving and handling.
Or have a keen interest in that.
Yeah, so they're going to be able to really understand it. You know, are the slings being checked properly? Are people moving and handling people properly? Are we using the best techniques that we could be using? So they're not the trained trainer, but they're a champion. They're able to support family members. So they've just got a bit more knowledge. So they do an extra day's training on becoming a champion. So it's like what I did with Sutton. Okay, so that's that bit. Then we've got in here the annual competencies. So we're then saying each year our staff will also undertake those competencies, and again give that a form name number. So give that a number. So whatever number you're on at this point, form. Oh, what number are we on now? 33. And then we had moving and handling assessment competency. As well as, ooh, that was quite.
Yeah, I find that enough sandwich for a drink.
Form 34. Good. Right. So we then look at. So we've now done. Health and safety checks. So that probably needs to be up here somewhere, doesn't it? Would we do health and safety checks regular? That's regular use of the slings. That's going to be on here. Staff and family are also required to carry out every use of a sling, a check to ensure they are safe to use, and record this formally every 6 months. Oh. And that's going to be form number, whatever you give it. Okay. And as well, you then have to ensure the equipment. And I think it's the equipment stores that do the maintenance checks, if I'm right. Am I right, Dion? It's the equipment stores that do the maintenance checks. Equipment stores will do a yearly check to ensure the
For Newham, it's the enablement team. We call them and they come and do the checkings and all.
We have to make sure that we record the dates on our records.
Okay.
So somewhere on your care notes and your risk assessments, you should have the dates when they're due, because nobody keeps up. So it's down to us to track it. So again, here, record in Careline Live. Okay. So whatever it is you do. So that's that done. So we've used that form. We've done that one. Then we've got, that's the review. So staff training, reporting of incidents. So when we do an incident, yeah.
Don't also forget you've got the fire risk. So if they have any creams that have got paraffin in or thing like that, that has to be included now.
Yeah, so that can go up here under risk assessments up here. You will also need to carry out fire risk assessments using form number, or whatever that form number is. Yeah. Okay. Right. When you have an incident or accident, where is it recorded? Is it on K-Line Live?
Sorry.
So where are accidents recorded? On K-Line Live to duty? So if somebody has an accident or something's not right with the equipment, how is that reported to management? What do staff have to do?
It's in the care line. We are making incident reports.
So where? On K-Line Live?
Yeah, care line live.
No, you have a separate incident report sheet that you complete, and then you attach that to the client and or carer's journal on Care Live.
Using, so report, form, and then whatever number that is.
Yeah, and then they also, so you're able to run a report each month to see any incidents or injuries or accidents, Steve.
Right, okay, lovely. And then finally, as part of any policy, it's just missing the review process. So review process. Right, so at the end of everything then, you should also, I'm going to now rewrite it all. You should also have how it's going to be reviewed and then what the quality audit, who's going to do the audits at the end. So I'm hoping it's going to have those last two bits on now. So what you should be able to do as a team, when you have done this, you should be able to follow this through and give it to a new member of staff, and they should be able to do this with no help. They should be able to follow these instructions because your instructions are so clear that they make sense. But if we don't link it to what it is we want them to do, I'm not surprised staff struggle because we haven't actually told them anything. We haven't told them how to do the job. We've just said, read a policy. And when you read our policy, it doesn't actually tell us how we do that. So in here, then, if we look at the review process, so again, that's up to whatever we do, whoever does the audits. And again, here, you've got your single account here. As and when needs change, we will also carry out a review with using forms. So that was the single, the double. So it was that one. It was that one. It was the informal checklist, the informal carers. And you can see here, look, Sutton have actually named their forms badly because they're the only three on there. Because I say not badly, but the only three because out of all of the documents they've got, they're the only ones that have got a form number. There. Right. So this is a form 2. So that's that one. Form 1. Visibility using form 3. Right. So again here, we'll just tidy that up. That can go like that. Okay, when you have text like that, sometimes it's easier just to put it in there and get it to rewrite them. Oh, hang on. Please. This. Because then it saves you having to type it all in. There you go. See? Much quicker, right? Little hacks on how to get things done quicker. Yeah, we're men. We can take shortcuts. It's what we're designed for. Not that I'm being sexist, Dion. Well, technically that was sexist, but not in that way. Good. Okay, so we're there. We've now got our declaration. That's fine. We've got accessibility. That's fine. That's all fine. That's all fine. That's all fine. That's all fine. We now have our flow. We now have our simple steps. So our simple steps here will just be a list of the forms. Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4. Yeah. But if you wanted to, you could now just highlight this and that. Do that. You pop that all in there. You go down here. You go down here and you go like that. Please now make this into a simple Appendix 1 flowchart.
Appendix is really easy. I thought it.
You see, gentlemen, how quick that is? There's your flowchart. Job done. So you can pop
Ability to make it more short because
yeah, you can make it shorter. Make shorter. Just keep going. Don't forget, you're going to have lots of form numbers.
yeah.
So it's up to you. Now, at the end of the day, what you now have is your first draft of the policy. Does it need to look pretty at this stage? There's no point going in making it look pretty at this particular point because you now want to test it. You want to give this to somebody and go, can you follow this? Does this make sense? So using this, does it tell you what it needs to tell you about moving and handling?
Yes, it tells us.
And then when it does, then pop it through Google Docs, do all your Zs, and then do all your format. Because formatting at that point is then easy because you select all, you clear format, and then you just go for your whatever it is you've agreed on.
Calibri 12.
Calibrate. Yeah.
See? And then you can just now go through and bullet point your bits that you need to.
Times New Roman.
Yeah, so whatever it is you've agreed, see how quick that is? And what we've done that in 30 minutes, a policy pretty much from scratch.
Yeah.
How long has it been taking you to do the other policies?
4
First
hours.
one, but now it's taking me like 40 to 50 minutes.
Good.
Because
But
I
what I
made
now
the
want you
one-
to think about, guys, is it needs to make sense. When you go through it, it's okay having a lovely policy, but the procedure part, the bit where if staff don't follow it, you're going to discipline them and you're going to go down this whole performance review. If your procedure is that simple, how can they get it wrong? Oh, I didn't know, sir. It says follow form 1. Why have you done form 3 and 4? But if it's all disorganized, it's not going to make sense.
Yeah.
Are we happy with that? So with everything that you do, It's your job in leadership to make it as simple as possible. KISS. Keep it stupidly simple or something. I don't know what the acronym is, but there's an acronym for KISS. And here you can understand it now. Right, okay, upon sign up, I'm going to do form 1 pre-assessment. Once I've done that, I need to start looking at the form 2 and form 3, which is the risk assessments. Once I've done that, I need to go to form 4 and update Careline Live. I then need to issue the SOPs. After the SOPs, I need to make sure that all of the other paperwork's in. I need to make sure that the family members, because this is the most important bit, the family members have got their information. And then from there, I need to make sure that staff have then got their training, because that's your job. Your job as managers isn't to do all of this. Your job as managers is to make sure that everyone else is doing it. Well, people can't do it if you haven't given them the tools. So with Wagner, for example, your training manager, how is he meant to train people to move and handle if he hasn't got the competency forms?
That's true. Yeah.
And then you're all singing from different hymn sheets. So if I then come in as an auditor and I say, right, Duty, tell me what you do. You're going to tell me what you think I should be doing. Dion will be going, well, no, you should be doing this, because she knows what should be being done. You're all going to be doing something different, and this is why it doesn't work. Clear set of procedures, link into clear forms with clear expectations of what you're doing in each one will save you hours and hours of work. Yeah? Which means you have to go back over the paperwork. As I said in the stuff last week, or this week, you need to go back over these and number them. So your document bank, all of those documents that I gave you from Sutton, they should now link directly to these policies. Because if we look at the policy that we had originally, so if we look at this policy, so this is your current life policy, okay? So this is your current life policy. So we're calling them residents. They're not residents, they're service users. So we can change that terminology straight away. Okay, nothing in there telling you anything, is there? Nothing in there telling you what to do. So it just says on admissions that we do it, but it doesn't tell you what form or where or how to record it. Here it says we do the care plan, that's fine. So all of these bits are great. You can lift these up and pop them back in the new policy if you want to add in more detail, right? But just be mindful that what you're putting in is relevant, because again, here, equipment doesn't say anything about it being maintained, monitored, inspected, checked, 6 monthly, annually, does it? There's nothing in there. So why would staff know? They wouldn't, would they? So your job is, when you look at these policies, is to be inquisitive, to go, does that tell me anything? If I'm sitting in front of CQC and CQC tell me, what is it you do? Does this help me? And the answer is no. Where you want this to help you. You want the policy, whatever you've written, to help you. Okay, so you want this to help you. You want this to go through to really bring it up. And again, this is a generic policy. It's not tailored. You know, I'm only using this as a working example, by the way. This is an example policy. Again, so it's got all of the pieces in there, but you can see it doesn't link to the single inspection framework. It doesn't link to any laws. It doesn't tell me anything. And it's out of date as well. So this isn't the current policy. So happy with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Any questions?
Oh, question is me and Perumal